Pretty decisive Blue Bombers win tonight. Welcome inside Game Day After Dark. My name is Darrin Bauming. Thanks for joining us. Winnipeg comes away with a victory tonight. Your final score in front of a sold-out IG Field, 45-25. The Bombers improving their record to 13-4, and the Edmonton Elks finished their season with 4 victories, 14 losses. So much to get to on the post-game show here. We're going to talk about Oliveira and Dembski. We're going to talk about Zach Collaros and Drew Brown. We will paint the playoff picture now that everything is signed, sealed, and delivered as far as the 6 teams in the Canadian Football League going into the 2023 postseason for a shot to play in the 110th Grey Cup on November 19th in Hamilton. We'll talk about Brandon Alexander, who left this game, as well as Nick Dembski, who went to the locker room for a little bit, came back. I like the way Matt Dunnigan at TSN put it, went to the locker room for some modern medicine. I want to talk about attendance. It's the hot topic in Winnipeg right now. Obviously, the Jets not getting the attendance that they have through the first, 13, 14 years here in Winnipeg since the return of 2.0. And the Winnipeg Blue Bombers finishing their regular season schedule at IG Field with 4 straight sellouts. And it'll probably be another sellout in the playoffs. They will host the West Final on Saturday. Yes, Saturday for the playoffs this year. Saturday, November 11th. It is a 5:30 kickoff. The Jets drop the puck at Canada Life Center downtown at 3 o'clock with the Dallas Stars in town. Will an adjustment be made? If there is one, I would suspect it would be the NHL that would move the Jets Stars game a little bit earlier. Of course, the Stars travel schedule, Winnipeg's travel schedule, all of those things will play into that. But the East Final, 3 p.m. Central on November 11th, the Argos will host, of course, that game. The winner of the Alouettes and Ticats in the semifinal. And then Winnipeg will host the winner of BC and Calgary at IG Field on November 11th, as I mentioned, at 5:30. So some things there, but we'll talk about attendance. John Hodge of 3 Down Nation had some interesting looks at the numbers as far as average attendance for 2023. We'll talk about that. I was really impressed with Adam Bighill tonight. Of course, he will very likely come away with one of the nods that Schnitzy and I will get into when Schnitzy joins us in just a couple minutes. I know he's making his way back from the madhouse as we speak, but Bighill is going to get mentioned when we get into Walby's Warrior. Probably not be mentioned when we get into Westwood's Wide to the Right, but some other things will. We'll have our Bonfire Burning Point, our Happy Honker. We'll hand out our game balls. I mentioned Drew Brown. I want to talk about him a little bit. Very impressive second season with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Second season actually playing a good amount of snaps. Janarian Grant flashed again. He is going to be a heck of a weapon in the 2023 postseason for the Blue Bombers. And of course, we'll get into some video highlights, including that big smack Adam Bighill laid, as well as his scoop and score defensive touchdown. We'll look at the stats. But the thing that really stood out to me, guys, I don't know about you. And here, let me pull up the live chat here. Great to see everybody in the live chat. What's going on? I know Friesen was in there chatting a little bit earlier, saying that I'm his reason to live. That's dedication. Of course, it's your reason to live. Having fun, of course. Tongue in cheek, right back at you. James in the Peg joining us live on YouTube. What's going on, James? What's going on, everybody out there? Loved Biggie goal line stop, says James. Yeah, that was really something. And I mean, he's been penalized, Adam Bighill, a couple times this year in jumping over the pile like that. But he timed it perfectly. Mike O'Shea mentioned on the OB postgame show that it was a great stick. I like the way he put that. Really well-described way of the way Bighill stopped Taylor Cornelius on that run. Reg Dunlop asks, could Dalton Schoen be out for the season? Well, he could, but I don't know if he will be. It's an ankle issue. At least that's what it says on the injury report. Brandon Alexander, as I mentioned, left this game. Nick Hallett stepped in at safety. He's dealing with a knee. It's been kind of nagging him, I think, for quite a while. But for Dalton Schoen, like, what did you see from the Bombers tonight? They put up 45, okay? And yeah, they've scored a lot of points this year against a lot of teams. And you could say, Edmonton's defense isn't in that same kind of conversation. Brady, Dembski, Kenny Lawler just doing Kenny Lawler things. Of course, Zach Collaros dealing as he always does. That's the other thing we're going to get into too. We will also get into the Blue Bombers Team Awards. Walby and I talked about it on Game Day Winnipeg, the pregame show. If you haven't checked that out, go head over there a little bit later. I reveal my ballot for the first round of voting. That is 4 media voters and the head coach here in Winnipeg. We all pick those CFL award nominees from the Blue Bombers. They then go off to division. That'll be next week. And then it goes to final voting and all-star voting on a league-wide level. And that's, of course, who will go up on stage at, I think they're in Niagara Falls, just down the road, about an hour away from Hamilton. The CFL Awards, hosted by Kate Burness at TSN. Once again, does a great job always. She will be back, and we'll see, MOP, Most Outstanding Canadian, Most Outstanding Offensive Lineman, Most Outstanding Defensive Player, Special Teams, of course, Most Outstanding Rookie. It's going to be interesting, but there'll be a handful of Bombers vying for those awards, and I definitely want to get Schnitzy's take on a couple things as well. I don't know about you guys. You want to look at the stats? I think first things first. What I think we should do here, I just want to make sure I can pull it up here. There it is. This is your 2023 Grey Cup playoffs bracket. BC Lions and Calgary Stampeders, who played last night, by the way. That was BC's regular season finale. Their regular season is done. They have a bye in week 21. Winnipeg travels to Calgary next week to wrap up the regular season. I expect a lot less starters, or definitely less playing time for the starters in Calgary. Of course, Winnipeg will keep their cards close to the vest. We won't know much until the depth chart comes out. We'll fire up the pregame show ahead of that one the day before, as we always do. Chris Walby will join me, and you can, of course, catch that on demand anytime on YouTube or Facebook and on your podcast app as well. But the Stampeders really kind of put a beating on the BC Lions last night in Vancouver, and it changed things. That win and Saskatchewan's loss a little bit earlier today to the Toronto Argonauts leaves Calgary as that third place team in the West. No crossover this year. Calgary will travel to Vancouver once again for a playoff game. And like they did last year and like they did last night, Stamps and Lions, very different makeup of these teams, of course, in particular at quarterback between these two. No Bo Levi on the bench to come off the bench and replace Jake Mayer like he did in the West semifinal last year. I was at that game. It was really, Nathan Rourke took a little bit of time to warm up, but once he got clipping, he was very good, despite the injury. Of course, he had that broken bone in his foot. So the winner of BC and Calgary will come to Winnipeg. This game, of course, November 11th. Montreal in Hamilton, Hamilton in Montreal, rather, to face the Alouettes in the East semifinal. That winner will face Toronto in the East final, of course. The 110th Grey Cup will be on Sunday, as always. By the way, Saturday games for the semifinals, Saturday games for the division finals, Sunday, traditional Sunday for the 110th Grey Cup in Hamilton. And some people have been asking too, why Hamilton again? They had the Grey Cup in 2021. Well, they gave it back to Hamilton because 2021 was a really pandemic restricted year. So they weren't able to get that full economic impact of it. I liked the decision to go back to Hamilton. It was a long time since they had it before. They got a beautiful new stadium now, and great infrastructure in place for the championship week and weekend and game, of course. So they're going back there again. Oh, look at that. Schnitzy's not there. Sorry, guys. There you go. We'll get Schnitzy soon. I think he's texting me on his way. So hang tight. Oh, man. How about that? It's like, were your ears burning, buddy? What's going on? Like the moment I say, oh, yeah, Schnitzy will be by soon. He's texting me. Boom. There he is. How you doing, buddy? What's going on? How'd you enjoy the game?
Oh, it was good. It was all good, buddy. Sellout crowd for a late October night.
Fourth straight and
Are
not a
you
playoff
kidding?
game late October. How was the weather? How was the crowd?
The crowd was great. The crowd was really into it. I mean, I wouldn't say they were quite as loud as other sellouts I've heard, DB, but
Mhm.
they were good. They were into it. They were doing the wave, which was too early to do the wave, but whatever. The game didn't matter. They were doing Sweet Caroline. So there was, yeah, the crowd was good.
That's good. That's good. Really, I've been talking about the playoff picture. Been talking about the 110th Grey Cup back in Hamilton. Winnipeg, of course, will play the winner of Calgary and BC, who played last night, but they will meet in the West semifinal. And then, of course, Hamilton and Montreal will tangle for a right to go to Toronto for the East final. But let's get into what we saw in this game. A 45-25 win for the Blue Bombers. They finished their regular season 8-1 at home. The Madhouse on Matheson is a legit juggernaut of a stadium for opposing teams to come into. Of course, that one loss was that surprising one to the BC Lions back in
Right.
week 3, which
Yeah.
was a tough pill to swallow at the time. But Winnipeg played very good football this season. It amazes me that a 3-loss football team who clinches the division in a good division, they clinch it with 2 full games to play, and people still kind of saying like, well, this team's not as good as they were last year. The defense isn't as good, or like, are you kidding me? This is this is a very, very good team. I think because somebody else is maybe atop the power rankings, or maybe someone else, the Toronto Argonauts, of course, are thought of as the best team in the league, that suddenly like a little bit of anxiety creeps in to a fan base that expects dominance, as Winnipeg has been up until, of course, the Grey Cup 1 year ago. But what did you see on the field tonight in a game that, while Zach, of course, there was nothing to be gained or lost for Winnipeg or Edmonton, for that matter, as far as the standings and things in 2023, I saw a team that was incredibly engaged, came to play. We saw a lot of Kolaris and Oliveira and the ones.
Oh, totally. I thought they were extremely engaged and they were dialed in. They were hitting hard, they were covering hard, they were scoring hard. It was a sight to behold actually. I was really impressed with how intense they came out. Oh, don't remind us of that Calgary team.
Oh, Jarius
Reg
Jackson.
Dunlop. Calgary won the cup in 2001 with an 8-10 record.
Yeah, and that eighth win
Um
came in their regular season finale in Winnipeg.
in Winnipeg, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I thought the team was really dialed in, Darren, for a game that didn't really mean anything, but I liked it because, in the past couple of years we've gone on we hey Andrea, we've gone Andrea, sorry. We've gone into the playoffs sort of arrested and maybe not as sharp as we needed to be. I'm glad that they were playing for something tonight, and I think that will fare them well in the playoffs.
Yep, I absolutely agree, because this team's like the way I've described them a couple times in the past is the screws are tight. The screws are really, really tight on this team. They like, okay, injuries happen and you don't play your best football, but they are engaged. Engaged is the word I wrote down in my notes watching. TSN even highlighted it when Drew Brown came in, who, by the way, what is it? 8 touchdowns, no interceptions this season, 7 touchdowns. Ed Tate had it on his Twitter
Dude, and he
account.
was he was 7 for 7. He had 100% completion percentage tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, he
For what was
well I
it?
can
2 touchdowns?
That's right. And he went 5 for 5 for 55 yards and a 64-yard scoring drive in his, steps onto the field, and that's what he does. Uh, Despite that, you listen to Mike O'Shea after the game, and you have to kind of read between the lines a little bit with the head coach. But my take on his comments were that he was not happy with the offense, was not happy with some of the mistakes that they made. I'm sure you didn't catch it, being at the stadium, Zach, but watching the broadcast of an early incompletion from Zach Collaros to Greg McCrae, and the camera goes to Collaros on a close up, and he's screaming, he's pissed, he's like, oh, what do like angry, because
Well, him
that's the level of expectation of
yeah.
this team. You don't make mistakes.
He and McCrae did not seem to be on the same page, and I assume that's more McCrae than Collaros, just looking at their pedigree and their history of relative success.
Well, yeah, he hasn't played a lot this year, right? Greg
Yeah.
McCrae has kind of been on the outside looking in. I think Greg McCrae's versatility was a reason why he won out that practice roster spot, and Carlton Agadosi, was on the outside looking in. Truly, now a
Yeah.
member of the Toronto Argonauts, but that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. I think Winnipeg has a spoil of riches at receiver. And, it starts with Kenny Lawler and Dalton Schoen. And then you have Nick Dembski, who in his 9th CFL season, okay?
Looks like
his
I just walked into the sun. Sorry, Darren.
Oh
My
man, what
daughter
happened?
came downstairs and turned off the lights. Hold on a second.
Hang on, no, you're good. You're good. I'll turn your brightness here. I
What did
can
you
do
do?
yeah.
She
Oh,
turned off
okay.
the lights in the rest of the basement, and then now I look like
I think you look
I've
great.
walked too close to the sun.
No, you look great. You look great.
Are you sure? I can turn on the lights.
But think about this though. Kenny Lawler and Dalton Schoen, and then Nick Dembski in his 9th CFL season. He's the third most, he's number 3 if you had to go 1, 2, 3 amongst these receivers. I think that's a fair argument. But I mean, it's 1A, 1B, 1C with those
Mm-hmm.
three, and then Rashid Bailey has a huge game tonight with 2 touchdowns, and how good he is,
Rashid, wasn't that nice to see, buddy?
it is. It
Kind of an
is.
unsung hero who,
Absolutely.
took a pay cut. I heard a little bit of him on the post game. Such a passionate guy. Takes a pay cut, gets a couple of touchdowns.
There's the man.
Uh, there's
There's
the
the man
man.
from West Winnipeg, Oak Park High School, Nick Dembski. He will be 30 a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks after the Grey Cup. Okay. University of Manitoba product, 4th overall pick of the Saskatchewan Roughriders back in 2015. He then plays his first season in 2016. Am I getting that right? Maybe it was 2016. Either
I think it
way,
was 2015.
these are his receiving yards. Okay. Not, it wasn't utilized a lot. 37 catches, 19 catches, and missed half a season in 2017. First couple years in Winnipeg, he's healthy. He's playing, but not utilized a ton. He was, just not that heavy target. Winnipeg also ran the ball like crazy in those years, and kind of played the check down game. But here is a 12-game season in 2021 and a 13-game season in 2022 where he had roughly 700, 800 yards receiving. If he had been healthy, he would have hit those marks. I'll be honest, there was a couple 50, 70-yard shots deep downfield in 2022 that just either slipped through his fingers or he was taken down from behind. He could have been pretty close to 1,000 just playing 13 games in 2022. This year, he only misses one game. They've played 16 of, well, this was going into tonight. Here, maybe I'll do a refresh. We'll see if it updates. No, not yet. So he has played now 17 games and has over 1,000 yards receiving. He missed one game this year for the birth of his daughter, his first daughter. So Nick Dembski has, I tweeted during the game, Zach, like a fine whiskey in a cask. It just gets better every year it's there. And Nick Dembski, really focused on health this year, wanted to play a full season, did. Fingers crossed moving forward, of course, for all these guys. But the reality is this is a legit superstar that I think a lot of people have been sleeping on for a long time, just because those 650, 770 receiving yard numbers don't pop off the page. And it's because he only played 2/3 of the season those years.
Yeah, no, it was great. I wish it had updated for you there on the screen, but yeah, so happy to see Dembski break the 1,000-yard mark tonight.
Awesome.
And then you had that great round of applause for him and Brady Oliveira for the first time ever. Two Canadians on the same team break 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Crazy from the same freaking high school.
Yeah.
Listen, let me just say this. If you're tuned into the Jets game right now, turn it off. This is the team that you should be cheering for right now. I'm sorry.
You can watch both. I'm sure a lot
You
of people are
sure
watching both.
watch maybe what yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I've got
Watch
it on right
both.
here. I've got it on right beside me.
What and how are the Jets doing right now?
They're getting outshot 17-6, and
Uh-huh.
they were down 2-0. They got one back. So they're down 2-1. There's about a minute left in the first period. So
Yeah.
stick with us because it's going to intermission. And I don't know. Connor Hellebuck might get a mercy pull. A mercy pull.
Yeah, they're probably going to lose. They just I watched them. They don't have the heart like the Bombers. I
Well,
mean, the Bombers have so much heart. They're a winning
look.
team.
I hear you, man, but
I
it's
I just don't like
unfair
it.
to compare a team that is going to be discussed as an all-time team with
Yeah, they are
a
gonna be an
hockey
all-time
team
team.
that,
That's what I'm saying. Watch the Bombers.
well, yeah, no, for sure.
Invest in
I
the
just don't think
Bombers.
you can say the Jets don't have the heart of the Bombers. I don't think that's a fair
I don't see it.
assessment
I
to
don't
make.
see that. I don't see the passion.
What they look. I will say one thing on hockey and then we'll move on, okay? I see a Winnipeg Jets team that got goalied in Calgary, got beat against LA, got goalied in their second game. Why am I blanking on that? Oh
With
yeah,
the Knights?
Florida,
Oh, Florida. They
right?
beat Florida.
They beat Florida. Yeah, and they definitely got goalied by Logan Thompson with Vegas. Definitely. And I don't hate their game. I think they have a good system in place. I think they are playing the right way. Mark Scheifele looks like he's
Back checking.
busting his ass. And I don't think you can judge the Jets on a 1-3 record. Now they have to go into to Edmonton tonight and play a team that has been absolutely crap this year. Everybody expected them. People are picking them to win the Stanley Cup, win the West, win the Pacific Division. Edmonton's a favorite this year as a Stanley Cup contender, and they've been garbage to start the year. And you
Excuse
have
me.
to believe they're going to come into a game tonight and play their tail off, and they are so far definitely winning the first period against the Jets, leading 2-1 and outshooting them by a heavy margin as well.
Dude, you should do a hockey show.
I'm thinking about it.
You talk a good game, you spin a good yarn, you shoot a good puck.
I watch the
Just a
games.
saucer pass.
I got to write stories for NHL.com,
I
right?
know,
So
you know your hockey, just a saucer pass down the street
that's right.
from Darrin.
Well, yeah, no, like last week, I'm writing about Alec Martinez making his season debut in Winnipeg, right? So I understand Jets fans maybe not so interested in those things, but that's our job as independent correspondents for NHL.com is we got to write about the news, not just the home team. Same with my
Well,
game stories,
there's a
kind of right down
reason
the
they
middle.
don't employ me, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
because
I wouldn't.
you'd be telling
I'd be
them
like,
to.
oh, don't even watch these guys, these bums. Don't even bother.
You know who wasn't a bum tonight? Who
Who
I think
wasn't
has
a
been
bum?
getting a little bit of flack this season, and I would say unfairly. I'm pulling this up here. I think people are going to like this. Okay. This dude balls
Oh,
out.
buddy. That was one of the plays of the game. That was just a thing
Outstanding.
of beauty. Oh, I
He has been
love that.
penalized for that hit or that sort of play this year. He has been penalized for spearing and going helmet to helmet, but he timed it perfectly.
Yeah.
He is so good at plays like that. Adam Bighill deserves to play pro football, I would say, as much, if not more, than every other player on the field. So for those out there that rag on Bighill, oh, he's lost his speed. He can't do this. He can't do that. He needs to retire. Time to hang up the cleats. You've hung on a year too long. Wake up. Watch this man. He makes things happen. And I just don't get people who see a player make a mistake in a game or miss a tackle or be out of position like once, twice, and be like, oh yeah, they're done. This guy's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. And you're calling him out on a couple plays and saying he's done. Wake up.
Well, and the touchdown he had, yes, the ball sailed right into his hands, but he ran, he had to run all the way to the end zone. It was like what 25, 30 yards there, and like the guy still has legs. He has
Mm-hmm.
wheels on him.
Yep. Yep. You want
Big
to see
boy
that?
wheels, biggie wheels.
You want to see it? Let's see it.
Let's see
Let,
it.
let's look at that touchdown for Adam Bighill tonight. There's Trey Ford rolling out to the right. Jackson Jeffcoat just getting to the quarterback as he always does. That face mask Jeffcoat took tonight, not on that play, but on a later play. I don't think it was his fault. I think that's more just kind of a crap. It happens. Either way, flagged, but this one here, getting to the quarterback, like pick your poison. You want
Mhm.
Jeffcoat, you want Jefferson. Walby and I talked about my award ballots. My ballot is due tomorrow, but I sent it in early because I'm a good student. I'm a good student of the game.
Nice,
Uh,
nice, nice.
but sent it in early and like most outstanding defensive player for Winnipeg is one I really struggled with. Uh, really pulled in a couple directions. And then of course MOP was a really tough one. Who's your MOP of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in 23?
Oh man, are you seriously asking me that
I'm not
question
just
right
putting you on
now?
the spot, but I'm gonna highlight you on the
Oh
screen just like this.
God,
You like that?
you could see my wrinkles now, and
No, those are
by the
those are
way,
fan lines, man. Those are cheering lines.
I wanna do a shout out to all the fans who I ran into today who gave me a hug and just asked how I was doing just because I had posted a bunch of stuff on the Middle East, being Jewish. It's hard to see what's going on. So I appreciate all of you guys who gave me a hug or just gave me a tap on the shoulder. It's much appreciated. Now
No
you were
worries.
asking about who the Bombers MOP is.
Mm-hmm.
I I think I gotta give it to Brady.
Okay.
I know that the quarterback is the most difficult and important position in sports, and that's Zach Collaros. And that, pretty much Collaros's stats are identical to last year. Maybe he has a few more turnovers, Darren.
I think if you go
And
interceptions, fumbles, he's at the same mark.
so he won the MOP last year,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's at the same clip as he was last year. He won the MOP last year, so why shouldn't you pick Collaros? I don't know. I just think how many yards does Brady have now? Like over 1,500?
Yep. Second greatest rushing season by a Canadian tailback in CFL history. Second only to John Cornish,
John
who
Cornish.
won Most Outstanding Canadian and Most Outstanding Player um, in a year where he had 1,800 rushing yards. The guy was out of his mind. He was playing all world Hall of Fame level football. Brady Oliveira is in his third real season.
I know.
Okay. Hits 1,000 yards on the final play last year. And this year he hits 1,000 yards with half a season to play at least. And, hits 1,500 and, has a whole bunch through the air as well. I too voted for Brady and it was very, very difficult.
You voted for Brady.
I did.
What made you vote for Brady versus Zach?
So while Zach's numbers are very similar to last year, and I also the thing I really struggled with, more so than looking at Kolaris's MOP year last year versus this year and the numbers being similar, the thing I really struggled with was um, based on a couple conversations I've had, um, people around the team, people outside the team as well, is Kolaris has won 2 straight, right? And there will be some voter fatigue and that sort of thing. It wasn't voter fatigue that sunk in with me. It was awareness of that voter fatigue and trying to counter it with enough feeling that he is the most outstanding player on the team versus a tailback that is having a all-time season. And I talked about this with Walby on the pregame. If it was MVP, most valuable player, I would go with the quarterback. Absolutely. But it's most outstanding player. And I mean, the O-line helps Brady. The O-line helps the quarterback. Uh, Receivers help the quarterback, and the receivers help the running back as well. It is a team sport. But when I laid it all out and I thought real hard on it, I just couldn't not pick Brady Oliveira. I feel he had the more outstanding season. And that's not outstanding compared to Zach Kolaris's 2023 comparative to his 2022, 2021 MOP years. But just in 2023, it's a 2023 award. I feel Brady Oliveira was more outstanding. And I really wrestled with it. I really did. And I hope I made the right choice. Of course, there's 3 other media voters here in Winnipeg, plus the head coach. And then all of those team nominees will go up against each other in the West. It'll probably be Vernon Adams Jr., I'm guessing, with BC. Maybe Matthew Betts. I think he'll be MOC for sure. But I don't see a most outstanding player coming out of Calgary or Saskatchewan or Edmonton.
So so will the Bombers have, uh let's say the media members and the coach agrees with you, Darren, and they pick Oliveira for the most outstanding player. Will he also be, you think, the candidate for the MOC?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think you, I mean, if you're the MOP, why wouldn't you be the MOC?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Or
I'm
did you
thinking
go
that's obvious.
Dembski because
No.
you want to give him some love?
No, I think Brady Oliveira, regardless of passport, is the most outstanding player. Is he the most outstanding Canadian? Well, yes, he's the most outstanding player, period. So yeah, I gave him MOC. And that was, it kind of sucks that like the year that Nick Dembski is healthy and so good, everything kind of comes together for him. Everything kind of came together for him in his personal life too, like having his, the birth of his daughter, first child and all that stuff. Taking on that leadership role in a second year now with Andrew Harris moved on, it's really Nick's, he puts a lot of that leadership on his back. Um, it's almost a shame that his big year came when Brady just like exploded. And, I feel for him there, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's Brady Oliveira's world, and we're all living in it right now. That's how I feel.
And you just gotta love the way it's also the way he does it, just the aesthetic of what Brady does on the field, just the way that he bulldozes guys,
Mm-hmm.
lowers his pad level, gets that extra yard or 3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah,
Like, he is just a manimal. He is a
manimal.
manimal, and then he's got that, head slap he does. Just a trade that he's developing a trademark here, the
Mm.
Brady Oliveira head slap. His first down, I got up out of my seat, I was clapping, and I started doing the head slap too. I'm like, "Yes, yes, it's contagious."
I really liked
Early here, just a little cross motion,
this
freezes the
celebration.
defense a little bit, and Brady just ball early here.
Blowing kisses.
Blowing
just a little
kisses.
cross motion.
I love that. Look at that. Great celebration from Brady
Yeah.
Oliveira on his first touchdown, and I'll find his second one too. But like that was the Red Sea parted, and Oliveira
Oh
was able
yeah.
to trot in. But Dakota Prukop showing, it's to me, I found it really interesting that we saw a lot of Dakota Prukop today. Interesting in the sense that Winnipeg's kind of showing that deeper page of the playbook. Um, I don't think they're doing anything too different than they have earlier this year with Prukop, so maybe it's not as big of a deal as I maybe presume it to be. And it actually does make sense now that I think about it, because you want less Zach Collaros on the field, so you put in more Prukop, and then in came Drew Brown, of course, late, and the rest is history. But yeah, I mean, it'll be very interesting to see if Brady Oliveira comes out of Winnipeg as the MOP, because
Well,
I know two other voters that could easily pick Collaros. So it'll come down to it could very easily be a split decision. It'll be tough.
and Osh, I believe on the post game even said he'd pick Kalaris.
Yeah.
It came up. Yeah, it came up a couple of weeks ago.
What, this post game?
No, 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 not this. Yeah, you should get the coach on here.
Right. Yes, of course.
I'd
No,
have some
that's
questions for him.
yeah.
I'd have some questions, but yeah, I think he would. I think he would pick Kalaris. So it'll be interesting. It's too bad. I mean, what do you? I know we don't want to get too much into this, but like, isn't it kind of crappy that each team only has one choice each?
Yes.
It's not a great system.
Uh I agree. I agree. Because you could have a defensive player with, 120 tackles and a quarterback that throws for 5,000, and you can only nominate one of them. I
Yeah,
think that's tough. Um, yeah, it's like all-star games, right? It's like, oh, who's representing the Jets? Oh, it's Bufflin this year. Oh no, now it's Wheeler. Oh, Shifley. Okay, it's got to be one guy. That's a game.
yeah,
I don't know if they care. It's mid-season. It's not even the full season. These are awards, right?
yeah,
Um, I don't know if it's to combat market bias. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't particularly like it. I'm looking forward to going to the Grey Cup and being in the Football Reporters of Canada hospitality suite as we kind of gather there collectively, the media and some special guests once in a while, um, and discuss some of these real pressing questions over a cold one in the late nights of the Grey Cup week. I'm looking forward to that.
Or two cold ones, or three,
Yeah, in the first
or
hour.
four.
Uh,
That's probably Danny Austin and you
oh no,
shotgunning
no
beers.
names, no names. What happens in the FRC
Shotgunning.
suite stays in the FRC suite. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I've heard some rumors. I've
but
heard some rumors.
no,
Taking
no,
some
oh
shots
no,
off someone's bare stomach, like that
those
kind
are
of stuff.
no, what? No, no, those aren't just there. There aren't stories. There's legends.
Those legends are made.
Hmm.
Nice hat, by the way,
Hey, you
buddy.
like that?
That's a beauty.
I made
Shiny.
this one. I made this hat.
Did you?
I did, and people want it. I
I
think
well,
one person one person mentioned, oh, there's yeah, Rempel. Rempel's one of the crew that are going in on the hats. Somebody mentioned like if Schnitzy has a new hat, we're gonna riot. Like
no,
because
I'm still wearing my OG hat. I don't have a new fancy
it's a
one
good
like
one.
DB there with the new logo,
Yeah.
the new
Mandy
hockey
Moore
logo.
fan 21, who definitely gets at me in the comments. What's going on, MM fan? Uh, don't the Bombers don't talk contracts mid-season. What do you think about Kyle Walters entering the final year of his contract, the final month of his contract?
Yeah, I think something's going on there, buddy. I think something's going on there. I don't know what, but I think it has something to do with the coaches and operations cap. I think that they want McManus or Gavaya, and they'll probably be cheaper.
Hmm.
I think there's just something in the water. It's just a gut feeling I've got, buddy. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I shared on the pregame as well with Walby. Yeah, I think Winnipeg is moving on, and I've worked, arm's length but close, in a media sense, arm's length in a real sense, with Kyle Walters and the Bombers organization for a long time, long time. Great guy and fantastic general manager. His ability to draft, his ability to manage contracts and the salary cap and all those things, his ability to pull off some incredible trades. Remember the TJ Heath Drew Willie trade? That was a monster, right? Do you remember it was Kyle Walters, I think, who traded Buck Pierce in 2013.
Oh yeah, that would have been Walters. Yeah.
Wow. For like, what was it? Akeem Foster, Canadian
Yeah.
receiver.
Keem
I mean,
Foster, good memory.
yeah.
So, but why though? Why would they move on from Walters if he's that good? Money?
No, I think I th- I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because you have Ted Gavaya and Danny McManus and Kyle Walters, and you have to make a decision, um, and they're ready to, you know, hand the reins to Ted Gavaya and make him a GM. I think that's a long time coming for Ted Gavai. He was an AGM with the Toronto Argonauts prior to joining Winnipeg. He has found so many outstanding athletes. So too has Danny McManus, covering the southern part of the United States, the Southeast especially, Florida, Bama, the Carolinas, Georgia, etc. But I I don't know if it's about Kyle Walters as much as it's about the organization and the direction they want to go. I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers. It's just educated guesses, really.
Well, maybe yeah. It's like they don't want to lose Gavaya because they figure Gavaya might be going to they'd rather have Gavaya than Gavaya run on them,
Right.
leave town
Yep.
because people are going to try and pick him up.
Well, I, I mean, if you think about it, there's not a lot of teams that are going to have openings, but let's say 6 teams in the CFL had GM openings this offseason. Not that that would ever happen. I think that would be a pretty crazy year, but say there were 6 teams, Kyle would be able to choose which team he wants to go to. Each of those 6 teams would want Kyle Walters. No brainer.
Yeah.
But BC, Calgary, Edmonton, they're not making changes. Saskatchewan is. I
Yeah.
think that's where he'll be. Montreal is going to stay with Danny Machocha.
The
Ottawa,
Chachi.
Ottawa's in year 2 or year 3 of is it Sean
Sean
Burke?
Burke. Yeah, they won't move on from him yet.
No, Hamilton. I don't see it either. Toronto Pinball signed an extension, what, like a month ago? A few weeks ago? I think it was
Yeah.
maybe only 2 weeks ago.
Although he's kind of like their nominal GM. I don't think he does like the nitty-gritty stuff.
Yeah, I think he's the head executive though. I think he's the final
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Excuse
Well,
me.
yeah, just seeing the comment here from Comet. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. I think this is going to dominate a lot of things. Did I get a cricket? No, I didn't get a cricket. That's enamel. I think enamel epoxy.
What's a
I don't know.
cricket? Is that like
It's like
for
one of those paper cutters, those
paper
laser.
cutter thing?
Yeah,
So
no,
yeah.
not paper. Anyway, either way, I think he'll be the GM of the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
You
And then
do,
what does
eh?
that mean? What does that mean 5 years down the road?
How
Good luck
great,
knowing.
how much better was tonight given the fact that the Riders got eliminated? I mean, maybe not for media, but for fans. Oh
Oh,
my
for
god.
fans, yeah.
And Bob McGregor, the PA announcer, made a special effort to mention that the Riders had been eliminated when they were hyping Western Final tickets. That was just a beauty. It was a beauty. You should have heard the fans. They were so excited. Poor Riders.
Oh,
Yeah,
poor
that whole
Riders.
regime of O'Day and Dickinson, they're done,
Craig
eh?
Reynolds, yeah.
And Craig Reynolds,
Well,
you think?
he's their president, and it's
Yeah.
Reynolds who hires everybody. Uh, Jeremy O'Day has only hired one coach. Um, and again, I want to be clear. I don't have any inside knowledge on any of this. I might be in the media, but I'm not breaking news on this. Okay, I don't have inside. It's just my gut. It's just my speculation purely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Saskatchewan. What they finished the regular season 0-7 the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Like that's
Brutal.
incredible. That's insane. That's
Yeah.
insane. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I I
Hit
I
the live
I
chat, everybody, or if you're watching afterwards, hit the comments. I want to know what you think will happen with the Blue Bombers general manager as we now look towards the postseason. Let's get into the game, Zach. You know,
Oh, yeah, the
we've been
game we're supposed to talk about? Right.
that's right, that's right. Not this hockey game either. Um, let's Walby's Warrior. Let's get right into it. Who went to battle tonight?
You know what, buddy? I gotta give my Walby's Warrior to a guy that doesn't get enough love. He doesn't get the sexy stats, but he did tonight. He was 3 for 3, 3 catches on 3 targets for 24 yards and 2 tutties. 2 touchdowns, Rasheed Bailey.
Oh, you like Bailey
Heart
tonight?
and soul guy.
Love
Yeah,
it.
he's my warrior. He's a guy that fights in the trenches, fights for those extra yards, fights for his brother to get the extra yard. And he brought it tonight. He gets rewarded with a couple of touchdowns. That one, especially the last one he had from Drew Brown, looked like he was kind of falling down in the
Mm,
back corner of the end zone, and he grabs it. I just loved it. I loved it. I mean, I was gonna give my Warrior to Biggie because of that hit on Cornelius,
mm.
uh, and the touchdown, but I feel like Bailey doesn't get enough love. So
Yeah.
I think Biggie,
Waiters agrees. So too does Sasha.
yeah.
Love it when people hit the live chat and the comments with their pick for Walby's Warrior. Hit it right now, everybody. And hit that thumbs up while you're there too.
Yeah, so Biggie would be my honorable mention, but yeah, I gotta give it to Bailey.
So my Walby Warrior tonight is this guy. Nick Dembski gets nicked up. Pardon the pun.
Yes, he did.
But he still catches everything thrown his way, comes back and catches a shovel from Zach Collaros to eclipse 1,000 yards on the season. Only had 27 yards, but he didn't. He only needed a few to get that 1,000. And I think also it's not just getting the 1,000, but it's getting the 1,000 at home. Right, it's
Mhm.
not doing it in Calgary. He's doing it where on the same turf, the actual same surface he played college football for the University of Manitoba Bisons.
Yeah, it's
That is
pretty cool.
so cool. He won a high school championship on that field, if I'm not
Oh, did he?
mistaken. Yeah. So
That's so cool.
for Nick Dembski to go from 19 years old, 18, 19 years old to now 29 years old, winning championships with Oak Park and playing college for the Bisons, and 10 years later, and just not an up and down career in any way, shape, or form, but just trying to get to that promised land and winning championships and all that is great. But he wanted that 1K. Every receiver wants to hit 1,000 yards receiving. It's a special touchstone. It's a special milestone. So to do it at home and go get some, as I mentioned it before you came, uh, Matt Dunnigan on the TSN broadcast saying he went to the locker room to get some modern medicine. I like that. Dembski, he's my Walby's Warrior tonight. You got a Westwood wide to the right, something that kind of pissed you off?
I didn't like that kick return touchdown, buddy. The last time Edmonton had a kick return or punt return touchdown, I don't even know, but it's been years, years.
Mm-hmm.
And to allow one tonight, I know it didn't really affect the game, but I'm tired of seeing our cover team struggle, and it's gonna bite them hard. If they don't clean it up, it's gonna bite them hard. in a close game, in a playoff game, probably in the Grey Cup.
Wow. There's cynical you. There's cynical you.
Right?
Yeah. How'd you get
I'm
so bright again? What's going on? How'd you get
I
so
don't know
bright
what
again?
happened to my face. I thought you fixed it.
I did. Man, we got to get you a
Oh,
new
there.
webcam. You are just blown out.
No, it's my daughter. She was down here and
Here, I got
she
a trick
turned
for
off.
you. I got a trick for you. Do this. No. Right up to the screen. Make it go black with your hand. Okay. Now come back. Oh God, still ridiculous. Anyway, okay. All right. I've been to your basement enough times troubleshooting tech that we're at this point where it's just like, that's the way it is.
No, it's because my daughter turned out the lights on the other side of the
No, I
basement,
know,
so
I
it's
know.
them too
I know.
bright.
I
It's
know.
my daughter's fault. She's 8.
Oh, you're gonna put it on
She's
her,
old
hey?
enough to take fault, don't you think?
I guess. I guess. Ludicrous Fox just got home from the game. How did you beat Ludicrous Fox
I don't
so
know.
much? I
I
don't
uh I did wolf down my cheeseburger. So I was full of
I
energy.
hope that's not a euphemism. I don't know if I have a Westwood wide to the right tonight. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Bonfire Burning Point.
You know what? I thought it was the Biggie touchdown. We go up 14-0. I just had the sense that the game was over. Like I didn't the Edmonton Elks, the 2023 Edmonton Elks are not coming back from 14 down against the Grey Cup champs in 2 of the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
A team that's 12-4
Yeah.
against a team that was 4-13. It just wasn't going to happen I just yeah, for me that was the burning point. Jeffcoat knocks the ball out. Biggie scoops it up right into his open arms. I thought the game was pretty much over.
Yeah.
And it was. I mean,
Uh,
Edmonton made a game of it. They got a touchdown, but they got a touchdown after what, like a 90-yard Manny Arsenault? Like Arsenault, I didn't even know
oh,
he could run that fast anymore, and he
got
could
him
barely run
running.
that fast.
Got him
That was
running.
astonishing.
Yeah, that was something. And Manny is such a great dude. Chatted with him a few times through the years, and he's as genuine as he was on the broadcast there talking to John Lou. So yeah, good for Manny for keeping it going. He's had a
Yeah, I
heck of a
know.
career.
It's a nice story, actually.
Yeah. My bonfire burning point probably wasn't an actual burning point, but I want to highlight it. And I think it's in the nature, it's in the what's the term? I think it's in the right vein for the bonfire burning point, and that is Drew Brown coming in with a minute left in the third quarter, orchestrating a 6-play 64-yard drive, 7-play 64-yard drive. He goes 5 for 5 passing for 55 yards. He was outstanding.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's my bonfire burning point. Speaking of which, it's technically not sponsored, the bonfire burning point, but I am going to draw attention to my good friends at Scotswood Links. I've got a free pass it's a foursome pass with a power cart. Now, tomorrow, Sunday, October 23rd, is their final day of golf this season. But this pass will be good for next year as well. And the beautiful thing about Scotswood Links, weddings, events, all types of things that they can do there. Outstanding catering staff. They've got a great beverage room. Look at that room. Look at that room. That is just half of it, the big room. Beautiful upstairs, beautiful banquet hall. And then look at that clubhouse. absolutely gorgeous. They've got outdoor seating, indoor seating, ample room, beautiful pro shop, and it's not that far away. It is like 20 minutes west of Winnipeg on Highway 3, about halfway between Winnipeg and Eli. Eli is halfway between Winnipeg and Portage la Prairie, so it is not far. Just a quick rip down the highway, a prairie meadow setting at Scotswood Links. And I don't know if you can see the website. Maybe I can pull it down here one sec. I don't know if you can see it at the top there. Scotswoodlinks.com. SCOTS. Scotswoodlinks.com. Go check them out. Great family running things there. And I've got I've got a pass. I gave one away on the pregame show. I got a foursome pass for next year. Good, really, anytime. But free round of golf. Who doesn't want that? You need to be subscribed. You need to follow us on Instagram, bonfire.sports. So text the hotline 204-816-TIPS, 816-8477 with your full name, your email address, and be sure you are subscribed on YouTube and following on Instagram. It's bonfire.sports. You can find all this stuff. It's very easy. BonfireSports.ca. You're going to find links to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Schnitzy's Twitter, and Walby's Twitter, and all of our podcast links like Apple and Spotify and Google and like you name it. It's all there. BonfireSports.ca. But text the hotline now if you want those.
Do it.
You want that?
Looks like a beautiful course. At Zach Schnitzer 48, folks, on Twitter and Instagram. At Zach Schnitzer 48. Follow me.
Yes, sir.
Follow me.
Follow me along.
Maybe, can Kevin Sproul get it? Can he win? Because he won the first ever Scotswood Links. I remember that pass.
Did he?
Yeah,
oh, yes.
buddy.
Yeah, so we've handed out a handful so far. Well, yeah, previous congratulations, Kevin. Bonfire OG, Firestarter for
last
sure.
year, yeah.
Comet, Scotswood Links is a fun track. Played it several times this year. Nice comment. Love to hear that.
Way to go, Comet.
Yeah, I love Scotswood Links. It's such a fun course. Great people. You won't be disappointed there. And if you've been there a few years ago, like, they have done a ton of work. It is almost a transformed course. They're putting in the work. It's pretty great. Gerald Wilson asks, so non-Instagram folks like me are second-class citizens? If you can show me that you are subscribed on YouTube and you are subscribed on your podcast app, or you are following on Twitter or those sorts of, if you can show me that, Gerald, and you text your full name, well, as you have you amongst a few, you can, yeah, I'll put you in the running. Absolutely. Mitchell White mentions Scotswood Links is on Highway 2, not Highway 3. Fair enough. Fair enough. Mitchell would know. He's from Fanistel. That's OG right there. Ryan Friesen says Instagram is for teen girls. That's interesting because I follow a ton of athletes on there, and I mean, I'm sure teen girls are athletes. Yeah, but I'm talking like NFL, CFL, NHL players. They're all on there. I don't understand that. And here's for you, Zach Schnitzer. You win a prize. Sasha with the super chat, $20. And Sasha says, good job, Blue, for not playing down to opponent's level. Sasha with the super chat. Thank you so much. That's going right to you, Schnitzy. Oh, and how
Is
about
it?
this?
You said that last time. I got none of the super chat money last time.
Because I'm compiling it all for you. For you. Look at this one.
Thank you, Sasha.
Ryan Friesen with a super chat a little bit earlier. I missed it. It was cool seeing Justin Medlock being honored in the third quarter and Sergio Castillo in the background, looking on in the background, but TSN has to stop interrupting live play to honor these players, especially Dembski's play. I hear you, Ryan. You are sharing sentiments shared by many, but thank you, Ryan, for the $20 super chat. Same with Sasha. Thank you. Schnitzy, you're you getting the camera straightened out? I thought there was like lightning coming through your window. Well, here's the thing. I had your brightness turned all the way down. There you go. You look good. You look good.
Of course I look good.
But thanks for the super chats, everybody. That's awesome.
Yes, that's sweet.
Yeah. No, I'm cutting you a big fat check at the end of the season, Schnitzy. That's what you're going to get. Okay. You're going to get a Christmas bonus.
All right. Hanukkah bonus. I don't
Hanukkah bonus.
Christmas. Come on, Darrin.
Okay. I'll send you the Christmas bonus and you can take it as a Hanukkah bonus.
Hanukkah's way better anyway, folks. We get 8 nights.
Wait a minute.
Christmas, you get
Wait a
one
minute.
morning.
Wait a
8
minute.
nights.
Wait a minute.
8 nights.
Isn't Hanukkah like the third best Jewish holiday? And now you're saying it's
Well,
better than Christmas because you get 8 crazy nights?
8 crazy nights, baby.
Come
Yeah,
on,
it's
man.
not even on the upper echelon of
Come on,
important Jewish
man.
holidays.
Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Passover, man? Like Passover's, that's the shit.
Passover's serious.
Oh.
Also 8 days.
But it's my favorite Jewish holiday.
Passover?
Yep.
Really? You like the food?
I like the look, I didn't grow up Jewish. I've since learned, through people in my life, and the readings, the food, something about it. I love Passover. I think it's a great thing.
Good for you. Passover's serious. Passover's a very serious, it's a serious holiday.
It is.
You got it.
Maybe that's what attracted me to it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a serious story.
Yeah.
Escaping slavery, wandering the desert for 40 years.
It's a cool story.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
But Hanukkah, better than Christmas.
Oof, that's a hot take.
8 days.
That's
Hot take. Hot take.
Yeah.
No, but you know what happens in Hanukkah? You don't get, you get 8 gifts, right? You get a gift each night, but you get like one big gift, and then the rest of the nights you get like socks or underwear.
Well, like, doesn't every family kind of do it differently too?
Yeah, that's how my family did.
Well,
it.
this is how the Bonfire family is going to celebrate it. I am going to give you a big fat check from all the super chats, Schnitzy.
Nice.
Probably a little extra too, because you're a good guy. I like you.
I'm a good guy. I deserve a little
right.
extra.
You're all right. So it's time for my favorite part of the postgame. It's time for your Happy Honker Award, the moment that brought some joy to you, Zach Schnitzer, at the Madhouse on Matheson. Tonight, the Bombers win by 20. What'd you like?
Well, honorable mention, I didn't do a Schnitzer stair climb, but I was running up to get a coffee, so I'd be nice and caffeinated for tonight.
We had
and I ran up
a month ago.
I ran up the stairs, Darrin, and I had no knee pain. I am rehabbed my knee. I had my knee surgery, ran up the stairs, good as gold, spry. It was good, but my happy honker goes to the crowd. Late October game. Fairly meaningless game in the standings, right? Completely meaningless at this point. Sold out.
Fourth straight.
Fourth straight sellout, buddy.
Yeah.
On a late October night. Are you kidding me? And a beautiful night, like perfect fall weather for football. So my happy honker goes to everybody who showed up. David Frase's happy honker. This comment is good. O'Shea still in his shorts. Good one, David. Go section 128, baby.
Yep. Andrea says, happy honker for all the fans all season in the stadium. No doubt. Waka Waka says, Waka Waka, how you doing? Schnitzy on performance enhancing drugs. Yeah, like how do you have
PEDs.
no knee pain after surgery? You got modern medicine.
Well, I've been rehabbing the crap out of it. I've been doing my physio. I've been going jogging. I've been doing my stretches. Everything,
See, you were raised right. You do your homework.
I want to be able to do a Schnitzer stair climb in the West Final once Janarian Grant takes one back on BC or something and just blows the game wide open. I want to do a stair climb.
I'm really resonating with this. Waiters saying these crowds are reminding me of 2011. I absolutely agree. Waiters, remember when the Bombers at the old Canadians would they put up like the temporary seats,
right?
Those little bleachers, kind of like at each corner of the east side. I think they would do, and it was like they boosted by 900 seats or something like that. That was crazy. It reminds me of that.
The Swaggerville year. Yeah.
Just think about like 4 straight sellouts to end the year. And then they're going to sell out the West Final. I have very little doubt. And of course, the Jets do play earlier that day, but I don't think that'll matter.
Who cares?
Man, you are such a cynic. Holy cow. I don't even have to look at you on the screen. I can just hear it.
Hey, you give me the Jets or the Bombers on the same day, I'm taking Bombers every single day. So it's
Well,
a playoff game. It's the 3rd
you
year in a row we're hosting the West Final. Are you kidding me?
so I gotta call my boss and let him know in New York City that I need someone to fill in for me on NHL.com duties that day.
Who's it gonna be?
Because I don't know, probably the Dallas correspondent. Just my guess.
Uh,
James in the Peg says Wade Miller has his shit together. Methinks, yeah, methinks that is an understatement. He has been he and the entire team, and by team I mean the Blue Bombers organization, the front
yeah,
office, the back office, everybody in between.
side office.
They're outstanding. And it's no surprise. Like, of course, winning fuels it all, but the atmosphere at IG Field.
Oh,
I
it's
didn't I
second
didn't
to
come
none.
up with a nickname for this place just cuz it is a madhouse. Like, it
Yeah.
there are 19-year-olds and 89-year-olds and truly everybody in between, but like the 19-year-olds are all chasing each other around at the rum hut and they're wearing, you got guys and gals in Daisy Dukes in July, right? And then you got the OG fans that are like, oh, I might, I've been 43 years season ticket holder and my grandfather started and then like you got those. And then you got the people that have just kind of learned how amazing that atmosphere is and they just love going to the games. And winning helps. Bombers finished 8-1 at home this year. It's a pretty great thing. So yeah, good happy honker by you, Schnitzy. I'm
Yeah,
gonna give
what's yours?
my happy honker goes to the Oak Park Raiders. Nick Dembski, Brady Oliveira hitting incredible milestone marks in their CFL careers. Dembski 1,000 receiving, uh, Brady Oliveira over 1,500 and passing John Cornish's second best season uh, as a Canadian tailback.
Mm,
Um, so he also Brady Oliveira also moved ahead of Willard Reeves, who had 1,471 yards in 1987 for eighth all time amongst anybody rushing for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Only players to have better seasons are Robert Mims in 1991, Reeves in 1984, Charles Roberts 4 times, and Mac Heron in 1972.
mm.
So big ups for that. I think it was Ted Wyman of the Winnipeg Sun who tweeted those out. So that's my happy honker to Brady and Nick, Dembski and Oliveira, the first Canadian duo on the same team to have 1,000-yard rushing and 1,000-yard receiving seasons respectively. That's just outstanding.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
it's crazy good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that leaves us with the game balls. And I mean, go a lot of different directions. You get a couple tonight, Schnitzy. I'm feeling generous.
Thank you, thank you. Well, listen, my honorable mention for game balls is our front seven on defense for keeping a
Ooh.
running quarterback like Trey Ford, and we've been stymied by running quarterbacks all year. There's a few games with Dustin Crum, with Taylor Powell, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's been a few games where we've been stymied by running quarterbacks, and the best running quarterback of them all, the fastest one, and Trey Ford, the front seven kept him to only 14 yards. 14 yards. That's nothing for Trey Ford. Few sacks in there. So I do want to give some love to our front seven, the D line and the linebackers. Amazing stuff. They were disciplined in their rush lanes, right? They weren't overrunning him. They weren't just selling out to tackle him. They were disciplined and they had him dead to rights several times. But I have to steal your happy honker, my friend, to the Winnipeg Warriors, setting a CFL record. Oliveira and Dembski, 1,000 yards each, rushing and receiving respectively. That is just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They're from the same high school, for goodness sake.
It's crazy.
Winnipeg boys, same high school, set a CFL record at home on a beautiful fall night. I got to give my game balls to Brady Oliveira and Nick Dembski
Well
all the
done.
way, baby,
Well done. I like that.
all the way.
wonder if we could do this. You know, the Blue Bombers have some interview content on their Twitter page. Let's why don't we take a listen to Nick Dembski? What do you say?
Do it.
Let's give it a go.
For them to have the trust in me and to be here with this organization, and for them to have the trust in me and you know, be with a great offensive line, great other receivers, and a great quarterback and running back. I'm thankful to be.
Okay, hang tight. I'm gonna pull up the full thing. That was only 9 seconds on Twitter.
You're just giving us a little taste.
Yeah. I got O'Shea. Here, let's listen to O'Shea after the game. It's from the Blue Bombers website.
A few things, you know, penalties like that. We cleaned that up in the second half. Scored points, moved the ball, had some good stops on defense. You just like to be a little cleaner. You know, once again, penalties and special teams, you know, all over. There's probably plays that we'd just like to be a little cleaner on. Yeah.
So O'Shea's being asked about Dembski leaving the game with 999 receiving yards on the season and then coming back.
He's been available the whole season, right? So I firmly believe that Nick's a 1,000-yard receiver, whatever the numbers added up to in previous years. To me, he's that 1,000-yard receiver all the time. He just, you know, he was always missing a couple games that would have got him over the hump, right? So this is a good year for him. He's, you know, played in damn near every game, right, except one, I think. So, yeah, it's good. I'm sure he's excited. Yeah. Yeah.
That's Jeff Hamilton asking about
stuff. I think we've got
Dembski and Oliveira.
And you know, Brady and Nick happen to be two of the best in the league, regardless of nationality, right? Like, they are super productive, top quality athletes, hard-nosed players. They just happen to be both from Winnipeg, so which is terrific for us.
Another question about Brady Oliveira.
Yeah, he's been a big part of our team for a number of years now. So he does play football the right way, and everybody on the team really appreciates that style.
Now a question about the crowd at IG Field.
Well, I'm pretty sure they'll have fun. They seem to enjoy themselves up there, and they're a great crowd. They, you know, once again, they were loud tonight, and the players respect that for sure.
It's John Hodge from 3 Down Nation asking about Trey Ford's.
Yeah, I think our staff did a great job of getting the guys prepared, and obviously the players know exactly who Trey Ford is, right? He's one of the best athletes in the entire league. He'd be the best athlete on any football field, really. You know, he's that good, shifty. So they did a nice job on him.
What's your expectation? How easy is it to see guys like Drew Brown come in and execute the way that they did?
It's Jeff Hamilton asking about Drew Brown coming in and playing well.
Yeah, they've all done it before. I mean, it's not a surprise. I think guys are pleased on the sidelines, but you don't see them over the top because they just know that this is what's going to happen when they go in, right? I know there's limited reps for Drew and Johnny, but Drew's gone in before and driven the ball and in tough situations and scored points and piled them up too, and Johnny can run the ball. He's a positive yard rusher too.
Any thoughts on what you might do with your lineup next week?
No, not yet. Sorry.
Shea asked about his lineup next week.
I don't know that I was concerned. I think you're aware of the fact that there's, you know, everybody's going to react in their own personal way to that sort of news, and you hope that we've built enough of these types of experiences throughout a few years to say that they'll get it figured out. Like I said, I'm not sure that we're as clean as we needed to be execution-wise, or penalty-wise in the first little bit, but they figured it out pretty quickly. Yeah.
There's the head coach, Mike O'Shea, talking to reporters at IG Field, and that video courtesy bluebombers.com. Big thanks to them for that. Yeah, I mean, the lineup next week will be interesting. I think Kolaris dresses. I think he gets the start. And I think we see a lot of Drew Brown, like 3/4.
Yeah.
What say you?
Oh, I think they want to keep Zach sharp, and maybe they give him a quarter or a few series, and that's it. They'll pull him. They'll put in Drew Brown, maybe even give Prukop some reps, not just short yardage reps or wedge package reps. They'll give him a little bit extra, I would expect.
Yep. Well, what about the other guys, like Brandon Alexander, if he's banged up, or Dalton Schoen? Do they try to get him in the lineup, or do you continue to rest him? He was spotted in a walking boot earlier this week.
Yeah,
And
not
look,
good.
walking boot is not like, oh, he's hurt. It can often be a preventative measure. Do you remember when Winston Rose was in a walking boot and then he played like 5 days later?
Yeah.
So
I've just heard rumors that Schoen is out for the rest of the season, but I hope
rumors are
he
rumors,
isn't.
man.
Rumors are rumors, and I hope they're just rumors. Yeah, I think the Bombers, anybody who even has a hint of a nagging injury will probably rest. Although you can't rest everybody in a CFL roster. There's only 42 guys, right? So there's going to be some starters at play, but maybe you'll see Brendan O'Leary, Orange, more McRae in the receiving core. Maybe you'll see Augustine instead of Oliveira.
Yep.
So I think you'll see some guys sit down.
I'm just yeah, okay. Here's Nick Dembski after the game. It looks like he's in a nightclub, but he's not.
1,000 mark finally.
It feels good. I mean, it really does feel like a monkey off my back. I mean, I really thought I was going to get it last week, but some stuff doesn't work out that way. It was a grind to get it, but I got it done, and now I can just focus on playoffs.
On that grind, you were at 999 when you left. So how much of that played a role in coming back?
Yeah, it for sure did. I mean, you know what? I just wanted to feel confident as well. But yeah, you know what? I wanted to get it done, and we'll see what happens next week. But either way, we're gonna have some time to rest. So I'm just thankful for this opportunity.
It's been lingering around that first ever team to have a Canadian 1,000-yard receiver and 1,000-yard rusher. I mean, to share that with Brady, another Winnipeg native, and another guy who went to Oak Park. I mean, just how special can you?
No, it's special. I mean, you know what? It's funny because we knew about it, but when it happened, we're talking on the sidelines. I mean, it still doesn't really settle in, but just like the crowd applause and just knowing how much it means to this city as well. Especially two Winnipeg guys to do it together. I mean, it did kind of go over my head, but I'm definitely taking it in now, and it definitely is. It's a crazy thing that just happened. So yeah, I'm thankful for the opportunities.
Nick, you guys knew going into this game that you had clinched first place already, but what did it mean to you to put on a show for these fans, because they turned out with another sellout?
Sure. I mean, you know what? Anytime you get sellouts, and especially 4 in a row, I think it is. You got to come out here and play good football, and that's what we wanted to do. We still want to, even though we knew we had first clinched, we still wanted to come out here, play good football, get them a rhythm during playoffs. I mean, right now it is really the most important time of the season. So for us to come out here and play lackadaisical, I mean, that's not what we wanted to do. We wanted to come out here and make a statement, and I think we did a good job of that.
Nick, I think it's pretty common across a lot of pro sports that when
There's
guys
some
sign
good
big
light.
contracts, they take the foot off the gas a little bit. You signed a big 3-year contract last year. You're playing the best ball of your career. How do you manage that? Not taking the foot off the gas.
I like that
Yeah, I
question
mean,
from
you know
John
what?
Hodge.
That's just a competitor in me. I don't want to just play football. Just to sign a contract and be happy with it. I want to come out here and help my team win. And within doing that, is kind of creating a legacy as well. I mean, I've been thankful for the opportunity, getting the ball in my hands and making plays. So I just don't want that. I never want to lose that. So. I'm thankful to be here with this organization and for them to have the trust in me and be with a great offensive line, great other receivers, and a great quarterback and running back.
I really like that question from John Hodge of Three Down Nation at the end there. As he cut that one early, Nick Dembski talking after the game tonight at IG Field, saying that, sometimes you see guys in the later parts of their career who sign big 3-year contracts and they just kind of cruise. And Nick Dembski signs that big 3-year contract extension coming into this season. And he plays the best football of his life at 29, like 29 and 3/4. He's going to be 30 in December. Outstanding. Like, man, it's great. It's great to see.
I love it.
And big ups to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, bluebombers.com. Lots of good stuff on that website, but thanks to them for the post-game audio.
There you go.
Yeah. Jets tied it up. Second period is in the books, 2-2 in Edmonton. But it's intermission, so stick with us here. Hit the comments and give us a thumbs up if you haven't yet. You even got one thumbs down today, Schnitzy.
Did we?
I think that's the first thumbs down of 2023.
Ouch.
Oh, there's always one.
Have we done all our awards already?
No, we haven't. I haven't given out any game balls.
Okay, you got to give out your game balls.
Yeah, I'll give one to, you know what? Oh, here it is. I wanted to show the highlight. Do you remember this one? Drew Brown dropping back, dropping one in. That was Kenny Lawler with
that was a nice
ridiculous catch. He had a couple nice ones in addition to, let me pull up the stats here, 6 of 7 receiving, 98 yards, and he drew a couple PIs as well. So I'm giving a game ball to Kenny Lawler, who really stepped up despite the increased attention he was getting with no Dalton Schoen in the lineup. Yeah.
Very nice, buddy.
Bombers stamps on November 11th will be exciting. Ooh, hot take. I love it.
Well, look, the Stamps laid the boots to BC in BC last night. So,
yeah.
Hey, maybe they can do it again.
Yeah. Friesen saying it must be T Kona thumbs down. I don't think so. I don't know if the Pyros would be doing that.
No, he wouldn't do that to us.
I love it. Well, hey, if there's a thumbs down and you don't like that, it just means you got to give a thumbs up. Appreciate that.
That's right. Give us a bunch of thumbs up.
Yeah. I want to talk about Drew Brown. Okay. I've been on the train for a long time. It's Drew Brown's town, man. He, as I said, what was it? 15, 16, 17 months ago? He will be a starter in the Canadian Football League one day. He will be the guy in the CFL, like on a CFL team. And it wasn't this year. Could be next year. He's in the final year of his contract. And I think somebody is going to throw, 350, 400 at him.
Well, heck, that's what they threw at Cornelius this year. So by that logic, Drew Brown should be getting $1 million. What if him and Walters just waltz over to Saskatchewan next year?
Just going to say that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think Montreal is more desperate for a quarterback. I think Ottawa needs a quarterback. I mean, they might roll with Crum. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Edmonton's going to do anything, or BC. Obviously. I think it's Montreal. I think it's like even Hamilton. Like I think Taylor Powell's their best quarterback. I do.
Yeah, no.
I think Taylor Powell's their best quarterback.
3. They've got Bo Levi Mitchell. They've got Matt Schiltz.
Yeah.
I like if there's a serious house cleaning in Regina, which there probably will be. I mean, how many years do they have Trevor Harris locked down? Doesn't matter. They can just cut him. They can just release him.
I mean, they would pay, potentially some bonus money, that sort of thing. But if you want to make a change, you make a change. And the best time to make a change is when there's a new GM and a new head coach. We don't know that for sure, but there's going to be some changes. So people mentioning that Drew Brown isn't worth 350, Winnipeg Gordo, who knows his football? Always love talking ball with Gordo. How you doing, buddy? Brown is worth 200,000 and incentives. if you want him, you got to pay him. I don't think if it's 200 and incentives, Winnipeg could probably pay that. I think they could find a way to make that work. I don't know if they'd be able to make that work with Stanley Bryant and Jamarcus Hardrick and Adam Bighill and Willie Jefferson and Jackson Jeffcoat and Brandon Alexander's making some money, and Kenny Lawler's making some money, and Dalton Schoen's making some money, and Dembski and Oliveira. And I don't know if it works in all of that, but things change every year. No news breaking here. I don't know if, who's coming back next year, but there's some elder statesmen on the Blue Bombers, so you never know. But Drew Brown's going to get paid. I think he's going to get 350, 400. It's the CFL. If you need a quarterback, you will throw that money at them. Winnipeg did it. They couldn't get, do you remember? They could not get Henry Burris. They could not get Zach Collaros. And that's when he was Zach Collaros coming from the Toronto Argonauts. He signed with Hamilton. Burris with the Red Blacks. And they got Drew Willie. It was third choice. And that's what they got.
I remember that well. I remember being really excited that they could get Collaros, but it wasn't to be.
No, because he was all world that next year, 2014, right?
Yeah.
Like he was ridiculous.
Yeah, 2015 as well, till he got injured. Yeah.
Charlie Dufo agrees with me. Brown is worth 300 plus.
Sure he is. If he's a starting quarterback in this league, he's worth 300.
Yep.
It's not a big stretch, folks.
Nick Arbuckle got that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Comet asked, does Streveler reappear in the CFL? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no.
You don't think so?
I think it's possible. I think the likelihood is that he will not play in the CFL. I'm not ruling it out. I would not be shocked if he played in the CFL. It won't be this year. Well, obviously this year's pretty much over. I don't even think it just.
He's still in the running to get a backup spot or a practice roster spot in the NFL.
But do you want, he's got the pension. He's got some paychecks under his belt. And look, everyone talks about the pension. The minimum pension in the NFL is like $20,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody's living off that.
No.
It's a nice supplement. It's a very nice supplemental piece of income, and he will get that every year for the remaining, years of his life, which is incredible. But it's 20 grand. Who knows, maybe he plays a few more games and it goes up to 30 or 50. Like, hey, that's awesome. 80 grand, if you're a 20 plus year tenured coach in the NFL, last I read, this was a few years ago, but like if you've coached in the NFL for 20 years, you get $900,000 pension.
Wow.
900 US per year.
Wow.
So you can understand why when you hit that pension mark, you kind of hang around, because I imagine it's an escalator. Like it just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah.
But of course, the Players Association, the coaches, it's all different pension plans and that sort of thing. I might have to look into those pension plans and where they kind of go from 20 grand. Yeah, but no, I don't think he comes back. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but I had fun watching Janarian Grant tonight, man.
Oh, was he? Yeah, he was spectacular.
Yep. Yeah, he really was. The Blue Bombers averaged 30,449 in attendance this year. Average.
Yeah.
The sellout is 32,343, which they had, as we mentioned a couple times, 4 straight to finish the season, and expecting that number to be met in the West Final on November 11th. But they averaged 30,449 fans, according to John Hodges' math, and hat tip to John and the work that he does, the great work that he does. Hodge says this is the second highest number in club history. The record remains 30,637 from when IG Field first opened in 2013. They did get a lot of big crowds that year, but I was surprised to read that.
Yeah.
But
No, that's crazy.
the Jets are struggling. And look, you cannot draw direct lines of comparison between hockey and football for myriad reasons. Okay. But Winnipeg plays 9 regular season home games. The Jets play 9 regular season home games in a calendar month, right? If they got a long homestand or two in there, you can't compare. The Bombers' capacity is double what the Jets is for attendance. The ticket pricing is very different. There are very expensive football tickets, but there are also much cheaper ones compared to, kind of entry level for the Jets, which I think is like $85 now. I think it started around 60 back in 2011. But that's when you couldn't get a single ticket, you can't draw those comparisons, but winning solves everything, as they say. And I think winning's the difference right now between where people are spending their ever so dwindling disposable dollars right now, disposable
Yeah, and
income.
people don't have as much disposable income
That's what
with
I mean, yeah.
groceries and gas being much more expensive. Yeah. Yeah, it's too bad with the Jets, but hopefully
It's not
hopefully
good
they can
across
pick
the
it up
league.
again.
It's not good across the league. The Buffalo Sabres have a good young hockey team. They got one of the best goal scorers in the league in Tage Thompson. They've got Rasmus Dahlin, their defenseman. Like the guy just got freaking paid, man. He was in the Norris running last year. Like they got a good team, and they're getting what was it? 11,000, no, 9,000 or 13,000. Their rink holds nearly 20,000 people, and they're just over half full.
Yeah.
And this is New York State, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can't get tickets to the Leafs, you go watch the Buffalo Sabres because they're about 2 hours down the road. If you live in Hamilton or Welland, Ontario, or the Niagara region, it's there's a ton of population in the greater area of Buffalo and northern New York, northwest New York. So, and Waiters mentions Buffalo is one of the lowest ticket prices too. So there's a bunch of teams struggling, let alone, Arizona and some of those markets. San
Yeah.
Jose
Oh my
Sharks.
God, Arizona is
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, their
Yeah.
situation. I can't believe they still have a team. But
How much is a beer at the Bomber game?
oh, like at least $10.
Okay. So maybe a buck or two cheaper than the Jets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's not the food. You can get cheaper food at the Bomber game, I think.
Yeah.
Like I
hot
paid
dogs and
$7 for a cheeseburger. Now the cheeseburger wasn't anything to write home about, but
sure.
whatever. It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah. Dene Football says bought 2 hamburgers for $6.
Yeah, but that might have been like the pregame deal, like a Frag
Right.
30 when it opens
Right.
up.
Yeah, they have those $5
$5
beers
beer and
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. James in the Peg says pregame at IG Field is awesome. I think
Yeah, it is.
football's also more of an event, right? You've
Yeah.
got Jets games, it's like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Football games like, what are you doing Thursday night? We're going to the Bomber game. Okay, well, let's go for dinner first. And then it's an event, Saturday
Well,
night,
yeah, like
Friday
you
night.
said, there's only 9-10 home games a year, right?
Mhm.
So it's a huge event.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you want $13 for a Heineken or a local brew, one of those great local breweries, yeah, it's $13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son's gonna wake up soon, Darren. I
Sorry, buddy.
gotta get to bed.
Yeah, well, hey, there's just so much to talk about, painting the playoff picture and all the great things that happened today. But awesome show, Schnitzy. You
Love
will
it.
join me next week, and then of course for the West Final on November 11th as well. But pregame with Walby the day before the
baby.
game. We always do that. No bonfire midweek right now. Trying to keep our necks above water with hockey season going on, but lots of Jets hockey coverage coming here to Bonfire Sports as well. I think I'm going to start doing like some YouTube shorts and putting those on the podcast app as well. But
You're
Schnitzy,
gonna be wearing shorts on YouTube? What?
Yes. Shorts. We're talking
Short. I love it. Short
talking-
tighties.
yeah,
Tighty tight shorts.
We're talking John Stockton shorts.
John Stockton shorts.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy was way better than people give him credit for.
He was way better than people give him
Outstanding
credit
player.
for it. I still remember having him on NBA Jam.
Oh,
Him and
yeah.
Karl Malone.
Yeah, the mailman.
You know, the mailman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
love it.
You know the debate. Jordan, LeBron, Stockton, right?
He stocked him up.
Yeah.
He stocked him up. He's stocking you up.
Yeah. Let's get stocked.
Let's get stocked with Stockton.
Appreciate everybody. Heavy Metal Thunder, James and the Peg, Andrea, John, Ryan, everybody. Big thanks to the Super Chats, Friesen and Sasha. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time here on Game Day After Dark. Schnitzy, you know what to do.
Sayonara, everybody.